Hello everybody and welcome back to Eureka. In 1932, Australia declared war on emus, and by most accounts, the emus actually won. It's one of the internet's favourite stories, but every detail leading up to this war has either been cut out one way or another, or just been lost. But today, that will change. We're going to look over the top 5 facts about the Great Australian Emu War. If you're excited for this video, then please hit that like button, comment and subscribe if you're new, and of course hit that notification button if you'd like to be one of the first people in the world to see these videos as they come out. With that being said, let's get straight into this. Number 5. The emus were quite literally ruining lives. Those who didn't live with the emus couldn't understand the damage they did, said Australia's Minister for Defence, George Pearce, and he wasn't wrong. The farmers who fought the emus weren't just ordinary workers, they were veterans of the First World War. When they came home, the government sent more than 5,000 servicemen out to farm Australia's wild and untamed west. At first, the farmers were making a profit until the area was hit by a drought. Starving and desperate, the emus started moving towards the farmlands. They tore holes in fences, trampled and devoured the crops, and left behind open pathways for the rabbits to get in. Millions of pounds were lost because of the havoc. Some farmers gave up and moved back east, others were threatening to leave, and a few were so driven to despair that they actually ended their own lives. Emus had to go, and these ex-military men knew one sure way to do it. Just get us a few machine guns, they told their premier, and they'd clear up the emu problem in no time. Number 4. It's easy to underestimate a dumb bird, they said. They were sure it'd be an easy fight. They had brought machine guns that fired 300 rounds per minute and more than 10,000 rounds of ammunition. All they had to do, they figured, was point and shoot, and the emus would die. When they launched their first attack, the overconfident ex-military opened fire from hundreds of yards away. The emus scattered. These animals are incredibly quick, capable of running over 50 kilometers per hour. With everyone racing off in different directions, the ex-military didn't have a chance of catching them. The emu command had obvious advanced tactics, one writer wrote, as the ex-military ended its first day with nearly nothing to show for their efforts. The emu, they reported, was smarter than they'd imagined. The animals knew that hunting season had begun and they were adapting. Each pack seemed to have a leader now, one soldier reported. A big black plumped bird which stand fully 6 feet high and kept watch while his mates carry out their work of destruction and warns them of their approach. Number 3. After the failure of the second day of fighting, the men fell back. They would give up on the emus they'd been trying to kill and reposition themselves further north, where, they explained, emus are reportedly to be fairly tame. The first pack they fought were just too tough to take down. They were going after a lot easier target, and this time they were going to run them down with trucks. With now loaded machine guns up on top of 9 trucks, they let hell fire and were sure not to lose. But of course, it still didn't work. The emus saw them coming and bolted, usually keeping a good kilometre ahead. When they did catch up, it was often even worse. Shortly after, the papers reported on one truck that they'd accidentally rammed into an emu. Number 2. As the Emu Wars stumbled clumsily forward, more and more people were starting to agree that it was a terrible idea and this war should really stop. The newspapers were reporting that barely any emus had been killed, with some counts as low as 20. The numbers probably weren't true because the farmers claimed they'd taken out 300 emus already, but most people believed the papers. The whole war really started to turn into a public embarrassment, not just for the people fighting, but also for the whole country. The Emu War by now was a total joke. When Pearce gave the orders, Perth's Daily News jokes, no treaty of peace has been concluded and the emus remain in possession of disputed territory. The ex-military had barely made a dent in the 10,000 emus that were plaguing the countryside. Now they were going home and the settlers were stuck with the bill. Number 1. Although the war was called off on November 9th, George Pearce reapproved the Emu War on November the 11th. Such strong representations have been made to me, he announced, that I've approved the machine gun party returning to the wheat belt to destroy thousands of emus which are causing tremendous damage to the crops. The Emu War was officially back on. Meredith and his men learned learned from their mistakes. On the first day alone, they took out 300 emus, more than they had killed in their first attempt altogether. As the battle dragged on, the emus grew more careful, but the ex-military still managed to kill an average of 100 emus per week. The Emu War was going so well that other farmers were begging for the ex-military's help. People in other areas soon called George Lambert as well, telling him that they had emu problems of their own and that they wanted their men's help. By the time Meredith turned home, he and his men had killed an estimated 3,500 emus. By then though, the city papers had run out of emu jokes and lost complete interest. The crops were thriving again and everyone could be at peace knowing that the issue was sorted for now. So there we have it. I know I've learned a lot today about the Great Australian War on emus, and I really hope that you have too. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. Please leave a comment below of any suggestion of videos you would like Eureka to cover in the future. With that being said, I hope you all have a great day and speak to you all very soon.